Surrey are staring at the second division now after they lost by 146 runs to Middlesex at the Kia Oval with a day to spare as the visitors restored their own hopes of winning the LV County Championship title. That's just about alive after Ollie Rayner took his tally of wickets in the match to 15, the best in a game by any bowler this year and the best by a Middlesex player since 1955. The visitors were on top at the start of day 3 thanks to Rayner's 8 for 46. His side had added 133 runs to their first innings lead of 149 with 5 men out, and James Harris and Darvin Milan had soon put their side more than 300 runs ahead, Milan recording his second 50 of the match, both fine knocks on this very dry surface. He was out straight afterwards, missing a sweep off Gareth Batty to be given out LBW at 170 for 6. Joe Denley came in at number 8 and he scored some valuable runs, blasting his way to 31 off only 21 deliveries as Middlesex looked to declare, knowing that some heavy rain was due in the capital on Friday. The lead stood at 353 when he too was out sweeping to Batty, but Middlesex may well have thought that they had enough runs on the board already, with Rayner licking his lips in the pavilion. Harris batted well for his 24 before he became Gary Keady's 6th wicket of the innings, another one off a sweep as Harris top-edged to Aaron Haranath. Rayner now scored some useful runs before the declaration arrived, just past the hour mark of the third morning. Rayner struck a speedy 28. Before he was legged before to Batty, Chris Rogers called them in on 235 for 9, and that left Surrey with a mammoth 385 runs to get to almost save their season. They started well enough against the new ball, but both Rory Burns and Haranath knew that it wouldn't be too long before Rayner was back on. Haranath was at least able to make a score, having hit just 3 runs in his last 5 innings with a top score of 1. This time he and his partner opened up with a stand of 44 and even survived a few overs against Rayner and Ravi Patel. It was Patel who broke the partnership by trapping Haranath in front for 23, the first Surrey wicket to fall in the match which didn't involve Rayner. But he was soon amongst the wickets again as Burns became the latest man to be out LBW while sweeping, a wicket which left Surrey on 56 for 2. Rayner used his height to his advantage on a pitch he would like to carry with him wherever he goes. He found not only turn but plenty of bounce, and it took the skills of Hashim Amla and Vikram Solanki to keep him at bay for a while as they added 32 runs for the third wicket. Rayner had never claimed 10 wickets in a match before, but he did that now when he had Solanki on 14 taken at leg slip by Rogers at 88 for 3. It was 102 for 4 when Rayner did it yet again. Xander de Brain very well taken low down by Sam Robson, who had an excellent game under the helmet at short leg. Surrey had collapsed horribly in their first innings and it looked as if they may do that again, but this time Stephen Davis and Amla held up their London rivals for the next 36 overs as Rayner finally found a couple of batsmen who knew how to play him. Denley's occasional leg spinners were given a go, which gave Davis the opportunity to hit some boundaries. He dealt mostly in 4s while Amla was happy to go for 1s and 2s as he posted another 50. For a while Surrey were showing some gumption as these two added 86 runs for the 5th wicket, even though that still left an awful lot to do if they were going to turn this game on its head. They didn't do that because at last a wicket was taken by a pace bowler, the first since Harris had removed Haranath at the start of Surrey's first innings. Now Corey Collymore had Davis caught by, well, you guessed it, Rayner for 38. All Middlesex needed now was the wicket of Amla, who once more showed why he is ranked as the world's best batsman. In these conditions, his innings was an outstanding one. He'd made 84 of the 207 runs on the board when Rayner finally got him, although it took a splendid catch by Rogers at leg slip to complete the dismissal. Rayner was now looking for his second fifer of the match, and it duly arrived when Stuart Meeker was out at his next over, Rogers a busy man behind the stumps on the leg side. It was 14 in the match for the tall off spinner when Gareth Batty flicked him to Denley at mid-wicket. Patel then did for Tim Linley as the tail were again blown away quickly. Many a better batsman than Linley would have struggled not to edge that to Gareth Berg. So now it was all over, although Jade Dernbach decided to have a bit of fun before the curtains were drawn on this contest. He showed that the best way to play the turning ball was to give it a wallop, and he twice cleared the rope in his 22, which took the total to 238. But that's where it and the game was ended, rightly by Rayner, who finished with figures of 7 for 72 when Dernbach sliced him to Collymore. Rayner had won his side the match with an extraordinary performance. His final match analysis was 59.2 overs, 17 maidens, 15 for 118, the best figures by a Middlesex man since Fred Titmus's 15 for 95 against Somerset in Bath in 1955. They were also the 7th best first-class figures in the history of this famous club. He'd almost single-handedly bowled Surrey to a 146-run defeat, which leaves them rooted to the foot of the First Division table with 3 games to go. They really need Derbyshire to beat Somerset on Friday too. Middlesex took 21 points for their victory, which leaves them 28.5 points behind the leaders with 2 must-win games left.